Tonight on Grady Newsource.
4 juveniles and 1 adult were arrested this morning for an armed robbery. I'll have the details coming up.
Also ahead, changes in how you report your concerns to police.
The Athens-Clarke County Police Department has a new online reporting system that offers services to file certain types of incident reports digitally. I'll have the details on why this system was implemented and its benefits coming up.
Plus, shortage of EMS workers all across Georgia.
EMS shortages have been sweeping the entire state of Georgia, and it's only projected to get worse. Coming up, I'll tell you how it's affecting counties right here in Northeast Georgia.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening and welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Majesty Bass.
And I'm Vera Hallam. Thanks for joining us.
Our top story tonight, 4 juvenile and 1 adult are under arrest accused of armed robbery. Police say it happened off Westchester Circle in West Athens in the pre-dawn hours. Grady Newsource reporter Brittany Paris is live at the Athens-Clarke County Jail where the adult suspect is in custody.
Thanks, Majesty. Athens-Clarke County Police got the call at 3:21 in the morning. They arrested 5 people on the scene. We still don't know whether or not the suspects and the victims knew each other. However, one suspect is right behind me in the Athens-Clarke County Jail. The Athens-Clarke County Police Department received a phone call about an aggravated assault. When they arrived at Westchester Circle, they said they realized this was in fact an armed robbery. They immediately arrested 4 juveniles and an 18-year-old they identified as Torian Gartrell. Gartrell is in the Athens-Clarke County Jail. The others were taken to a detention center in Gainesville. Jeff Gillen with the Athens-Clarke County Police Department says the 4 juveniles might be charged as adults.
Our detectives and officers are working on filing the correct paperwork to charge those 4 juveniles, or at least some of those juveniles, as adults.
Police say 2 handguns were recovered at the scene, 1 stolen from a car in February.
But I cannot say with certainty that the same person who stole that gun from the entering auto was arrested last night.
Gillen says that it is not known whether or not these crimes are gang-related. Now, police would not say what exactly the property was stolen, but that property was returned back to the victims. The investigation is still underway. Back to you in the studio.
The Athens-Clarke County Police Department has a new system in place for reporting crime and other concerns. Grady Newsource reporter Danny Terzer is live downtown to show us how it works.
We've reported on car break-ins and vandalisms. Now there's a new way for crime victims to file their reports.
Athens-Clarke County residents can now file incident reports digitally.
It's important that we have the officers out there actually doing the policing.
Officers no longer have to come to the police department lobby to take a report. That process takes them off the road for 30 to 45 minutes. And for citizens, they can file from anywhere.
A person can file from the living room, of course. Don't have to get dressed to come out to the police department.
You can report an incident online at the police website or call to access a link.
You can also file an incident report right here at the police department using this kiosk, and the process is super easy. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes.
It usually takes 3 to 5 days for a report to process. Now it happens in an hour.
We both want to be efficient with our officers' time. We want to be responsive to our citizens.
There are currently 11 types of incidents you can report online, including entering auto and house check requests. The new system went live last Monday, and 32 people have already used it.
Several Metro Atlanta police departments have already been using this new system for a couple of years. If you want to know the 11 different types of incident reports you can report online, visit our website, GradyNewsource.com. Back to you guys.
Here in Northeast Georgia and all across the country, low pay has led to a shortage of EMS personnel. Grady Newsource reporter Sydney Heiberger is live in the newsroom. She's been looking into the impact here.
The U.S. Department of Labor says that since 2016, there's been about 8,600 EMT and paramedic jobs right here in Georgia, but that about 800 of those positions are unfilled. Madison County is one of those places suffering from the shortage.
David Rogers has been an EMS worker for decades, 10 years in Madison County alone.
34 years of doing this, and I still wake up in the morning and I don't have dread about going to work.
The statewide EMS shortage has made work a bit harder for supervisors like Rogers. He's supposed to spend his day going to calls in Madison County in his work car.
Most of the time we have trouble because of the shortage covering those shifts, and I'm ending up on an ambulance instead of in my car.
Rogers' boss, Robbie Smith, says the shortage boils down to one thing: money. He says both nurses and paramedics study for about 2 years, but
I mean, the nurses come out of making a whole lot more than the medics do.
He says part of the reason the state has trouble paying EMS personnel is because the cost of doing business has exceeded revenue. And there's an added cost.
It's costing a whole lot more overtime because we're having to pay our guys, that will work to come in.
He told me he doesn't think Madison County has faced the worst of the shortage, but there have been a few times he has had to shut down ambulances due to lack of personnel. An official from National EMS right here in Athens told me he thinks the areas most affected by the shortage are southern rural parts of Georgia. He says right here in Athens, we're not understaffed at all. For David Rogers, he, like many others, work 2 jobs, but if he could do it all over again, he wouldn't change a thing.
I'd be right where I'm at, doing right what I'm doing. So maybe I'd be coastal, but.
The U.S. Department of Labor says the number of EMT and paramedic jobs are expected to increase 15% by 2026. The average annual pay nationwide is $33,000. In the newsroom, I'm Sydney Heiberger.
One thing's for sure, there's no shortage of pollen. Grady Newsource reporter Veronica Obey is out on the UGA golf course to talk about pollen and weather for the Masters tournament.
I'm here on UGA's golf course. Many people might be coming out to courses similar to this one with the Masters kicking off tomorrow. It looks like we caught a break from the rain today, with clear skies and temperatures reaching a high of 81. Temperatures will stay relatively high throughout the rest of the evening.
And although it's been warm outside, you might have noticed the amount of pollen is starting to pick back up again. Today we are at 11.4, and it will continue to rise and fall throughout the week.
I'll be back in 15 minutes to tell you what you can expect for the rest of the week.
A group of University of Georgia researchers have successfully become the first in the world to produce a genetically modified reptile, specifically for lizards. Coming up, I'll tell you how they did it and what it means for the future.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Is the seat supposed to be forward-facing or rear-facing? Did they move to a booster seat too soon? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Don't think you know. Know you know.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
These little little guys aren't just any lizards. They hold the key to a scientific breakthrough right here in Athens. For the first time ever, a reptile has been successfully genetically modified, and it was accomplished by UGA researchers. Grady Newsource reporter Sarah Hammond tells us how this will assist with human medical research.
So this little brown lizard is probably going to give us insight to human limbs and human eyes.
Dr. James Lauderdale and Dr. Douglas Minka and the rest of their team can now model human eye disease and other retinal problems thanks to their genetically modified lizards.
There's been very little work on gene function in reptiles.
And that's because inserting the gene editing tool CRISPR is especially difficult in reptiles because they undergo internal fertilization. Now, before these lizards, researchers didn't have a suitable animal to study to manipulate human genetics, specifically to study specialized structures in the eye. But this genetic modification allows them to do just that. The GMO lizards are white because researchers used the gene for albinism. That way they would have a clear indication of whether or not it worked. They are also able to see and study certain structures in the eye that don't exist in species commonly used for research.
And so that opens up the possibility for drug screening or looking for new therapeutics that could treat people. So that's sort of the longer range, exciting possibility.
Minka says that his lab is now studying limb length in different variations of these lizards.
By understanding limb development and differences in limb size in lizards, we actually might better understand human biology as well.
It took 2 years to modify the lizards, and now researchers will spend years studying their new creations. For Grady Newsource, I'm Sarah Hammond.
Both researchers on the project say that when they realized how well the genetic modification worked, there were a couple of happy dances in the lab.
Scientists across the world are also celebrating the first photograph of a black hole. The U.S. National Science Foundation worked with the Event Horizon Telescope, an international network of 8 global telescopes, to capture this image. It shows the black hole and its shadow, possibly 55 million light-years away. A black hole is an area of such dense gravity that nothing, not even light, can escape.
Back to this universe and this university, UGA Transportation is taking steps to become more eco-friendly. I spoke with the program coordinator at the Office of Sustainability about new buses you'll soon see around campus. UGA has the largest fleet of buses of any university in the country. Together, Athens and UGA have the 4th busiest per capita transit system in the United States.
Because of UGA's campus transit system. So it's a very busy system. It's very robust. We have the largest fleet.
UGA received a $10 million grant from the Go Transit Capital program, which will pay for the university to get up to 20 electric buses. Jason Perry told me about some of the tangible benefits of these new buses.
There are no tailpipe emissions from these electric buses.
Students like Susan Ellis are excited that UGA will be reducing its carbon footprint.
Has like a huge carbon footprint and everything, and like the fact that we're like gonna minimize that and everything is like really good. Just like this one like simple step, even if it is just 20 buses.
Power for the electric buses coming to school next year will be coming from this power source here on East Campus. Perry wants the public to know that these buses are not considered zero emission.
There are greenhouse gas emissions that result from generation of electricity that charges the buses, so it's not a zero emissions vehicle.
These buses will feature a regenerative braking system that saves energy by recharging the battery in stop-and-go traffic. For Grady Newsource, I'm Majesty Bass. The addition of these buses will give engineering students new research and fieldwork opportunities. Students could be riding the new Proterra Catalyst E2 electric buses as soon as next school year.
I'm Luke Gamble with your Northeast Georgia Sports. It's Masters Week, and people who love and follow golf will be fixated on Augusta. But UGA's women's golf team also has a big tournament this week.
No matter how well you know this golf course, it's a really hard golf course.
Hi, I'm Peter. And there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ache than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
think getting dumped by a text is harsh, try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I bought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Attention travelers. Next Tuesday, a major power outage will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Food, water, and phone service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
And now, sports.
I'm Luke Gamble with your Northeast Georgia sports. Georgia's baseball team is one of the hottest in the country, and they got rivalry redemption last night with a 12-2 win over number 17, Georgia Tech. The last time the two teams played, the Yellow Jackets won 11-2. Georgia's offense was led by two early solo home runs by Tucker Maxwell and Patrick Sullivan. The entire team got involved at the plate as all 9 starters had a hit for the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs are now 28-6 on the season. They'll be on the road this weekend for a series against Tennessee. Madison Brett, a senior at Prince Avenue Christian School, has reached a big career milestone. Brett scored her 100th career soccer goal last night in a win over George Walton Academy. Brett scored 5 goals just last night. She was named the Max Preps Girls Soccer Player of the Week just 2 weeks ago. The multi-sport athlete also reached 1,000 career points in basketball earlier this year. Britt is committed to play soccer at Georgia College next season. The University of Georgia women's golf team hopes this weekend's annual home tournament will give them some momentum going into postseason play. I caught up with them at the range ahead of today's practice round. The Liz Murphy Collegiate Classic teed off today with a practice round. The tournament will take place tomorrow through Saturday at the UGA golf course. Georgia will be one of 12 teams competing for the trophy. The Bulldogs are winless in the regular season for the first time since the 2013-2014 season, but head coach Josh Brewer hopes that losing streak will end this weekend.
We need to get some momentum on our side. We're close, and again, why not start it at home?
This weekend will be the 47th edition of the Liz Murphy Collegiate Classic. The Georgia Bulldogs have taken home the team trophy a total of 14 times. An individual Georgia player has won the title 12 times. Senior Rinko Mitsunaga said even though UGA has a young team, they're all familiar with the course. She said today's practice round was about mental preparation for the tournament.
I know our team has put in a ton of work the last few days, so I'm just excited to see that kind of show and shine for everyone.
The Bulldogs will use this weekend to prepare for the SEC tournament next week, which has the same format as the Liz Murphy. Brewer said the Liz Murphy is planned that way to get players used to the format ahead of postseason play.
Gives us a great chance just to go through everything that can occur, a week from now. Again, we're playing for stakes even bigger in the postseason.
UGA will tee off tomorrow morning at 9:10 against the University of Denver. Based on their finish, they will be seeded for Friday and Saturday's pairings. I'm Luke Gamble, and that's your Northeast Georgia Sports.
Speaking of golf, I'm Veronica Obey, and I've got your Masters forecast and all of your weather throughout the weekend coming up next.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you, and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again?
Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Brochettes with sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of the zucchini, and they're the cores that we cut away, not to mention zucchini flower. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that, oh.
Again?
I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta, a different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit SaveTheFood.com.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Laughing too hard at one of your colleagues' jokes at the office party? He's not even funny. Warning sign, those drinks are probably going to your head. Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
I'm Veronica Obey with your Grady Newsource weather. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's forecast. We're gonna reach a low of 54 degrees tonight with mostly clear skies. But let's go ahead and look at the overall area for tomorrow. As you can see, there's going to be temperatures in the higher 70s and in the mid 80s. As you can see in Augusta, it's gonna reach a temperature of 84 degrees. So if you're outside, enjoy that weather. Now we can go ahead and look at your 5-day weather forecast. And as you can see here, it's also going to be throughout the high 70s. And on Friday, it's going to reach the highest of 80 degrees. So enjoy this week. Just make sure to keep your umbrellas with you just in case for those pop-up showers. I'm Veronica Obey, and this has been your Grady Newsource weather.
Grab a glass of milk. We're about to meet a UGA student who is one smart cookie.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Is your family in need of more quality time together?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Nature is best enjoyed together. So bring the whole family to discover all the bonding and stress-reducing benefits parks and forests have to offer. Visit discovertheforest.org and trade in phone time for family time.
Birds, squirrels, chipmunks, grass, worms, bugs, trees, rocks, and other objects in nature cannot talk. If you'd like to have a conversation while visiting nature, you will need to bring humans along. We strongly recommend starting with your family.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
many full-time college students work part-time jobs for extra income, but one University of Georgia student turned her side hustle into her business. Bailey Marsh is the owner and operator of Bailey Bakes, a custom cookie decorating business in Athens. On weekdays, she's completing her second semester of advertising classes here at Grady College while also working as an events intern in Athens. But in the evenings, she's fulfilling dozens and dozens of custom cookie orders, averaging 36 dozen per week. Now, she gets requests from businesses, local parents, and college students who want to celebrate occasions with custom cookies.
They were just like, oh, this is so cute. And I was like, guys, I got another order this week. And I would have like one order a week. And they were like, oh, my roommate's a star. And then it just kept blowing up and blowing up. And they were like, Bailey, what are you doing? Like, when did we talk about this when we signed our lease? But like, it's cool.
Her growing business means late nights, and she'll even stay up until 4 in the morning to get the orders done. She counts on her parents and roommates for support, and sometimes for late night runs to the store for butter. Cookies are her artistic outlet. They also let her connect with the community.
My whole life I was like, oh, I can't draw, like I'm so not creative, blah, blah, blah. But then like I was given cookies and I could pull my creativity out of that. So just kind of seeing how like my whole life I was like thinking that to be creative you just had to draw really well, and I couldn't. And so I was like, oh, I'm not creative. And then I was given cookies and I can just pull stuff out of that like no other, like things just pop into my head, and it's super awesome.
She's hoping to run her own business that combines her love for connecting with people through custom cookies and her passion for event planning. This summer, Bailey Marsh will take place in the UGA Entrepreneurship Program Summer Launch, which includes a $5,000 grant that could grow to $10,000 if the business shows signs of growth. Bailey can always use help if any students are interested in working with her. Eventually, she hopes to outsource baking.
That's all for tonight. Thanks for watching Grady Newsource.
We'll see you back here again on Monday at 5. Have a good night.
Grady Newsource is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here?
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to team-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
I'm ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Did you hear about the pony with a sword? It was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait, why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
everyone. My name is Lucia Vereen. Thank you so much for tuning in to our show tonight. Will Salter directed. Here he is at the end. As always, he has words, and I will let him say those words.
Okay. Hey. So, two things. The very beginning with the live shot, that missed punch wasn't me actually. It was the TriCaster. So basically, we like pre-tell it what to do, and then when we hit a button, it does it. But today, it was like, I'm not doing that. So that was that thing. Blame that thing. The last 30 seconds was all me. I don't know what I was doing, but I hit one button wrong, and then I hit the next button wrong, and that was all me at the end. So I take that. But other than that, it was good.
Very, very accurate reporting right there. The TriCaster is mean to us sometimes, and that's all I can say on the subject. But I think overall that was a really good show. Will has directed a handful of times, and he is going to be one of our new SPMs next year. So he needs to get that directing in, and he did. So standing beside me is Rachel, who is also going to be an SPM this coming academic year. So she shadowed me today, meaning I made her do everything, and I just watched her and took any questions. But she took the notes today, and she's going to report them to you. So let's get it.
Well, we didn't have any weather today, so that went super quickly, especially because we had Luke on sports, and so everything went really smoothly. You did a great job, and kudos to you for remembering to like tag out and all of that stuff, even when we didn't catch that. So thank you for that. That was great. We also had some prompter problems. Thank you for being patient through that. And then 2 to 4, again, anchors, thank you for your patience, and when we didn't have like our mics hooked up and like just working through that. So that was great. For the E-block tees, I think that was Vera. There was a few seconds of black at the beginning of that, and then also just in the future, dropping that like a little bit earlier so our editors know to be able to edit that in. And then for the show, yeah, there was just the one little glitch. There was just the one little glitch with TriCaster at the beginning with the live shot and taking that instead of the double box, but also our issue in like naming the location wrong. Like we didn't update the location, so that was on us. And then most of the packages were dropped on time, so that was great. And then yeah, a couple of missed punches at the end, like a double punch out of the package, and then just having the wrong comp set when we were going out to the 2-shot. But other than that, I think that was it. That's pretty much what happened.
Round of applause. Let's get it. Wow. Absolutely amazing. Okay. Yeah, overall. So when she was saying about, I hate to turn my back to the camera, I'm sorry. When she was saying yeah, that was the VO itself. So I just like dragged it over to where it would be, but yeah, so we fixed it, but cool. We'll be there if you need us. You know how it goes. All right, thank you.
Yeah, everything went well. Towards the end, we got a little light and kind of fell apart, but until the very end, we were awesome the whole time. So, still trying to figure out why I was light because we were perfectly on time until sports, and then we should have gotten more time because of the missed punches, but I ended up light, so don't really know what happened yet. But I'm gonna figure it out. Just some notes. I'll let Professor Shaven talk about like technicalities and stuff in packages, but just shout out to Sarah, Vera, Maxie, and Luke for having stories set up in advance. It really helps, especially for Sarah because you were assignment editor this week and turned packages both Monday and today, which is awesome and really helpful. Thanks, Brittany, this morning for switching stories and being flexible. Our lead came in a little later than when we assigned, but you were great about just switching and getting on it. Veronica, loved the weather idea. I think anything new we try is cool, and I appreciate you taking the risk. Christina and Donovan, I know I killed y'all's digital hit. I'm sorry, but I was heavy all day. But I heard that y'all got a lot out on social. I haven't had a chance to look, but I trust in y'all. Brittany, Danny, and Sydney turned packages and went live today. And Sydney, you were far away, so just shout out to all three of y'all because that's hard to be out the door by 4:15. And Majesty and Vera, I thought you had great energy. There was one part in the pre-recorded
like B block where we had in teleprompter both of y'all reading a lead, but Vera read the whole thing, so I don't know. I'm not sure if, yeah, we just missed it, but it was labeled. I went back and looked, and it says both of y'all, so I'm not sure where that got lost, but it's okay. Danny's live shot, the lower third was off, but that was on the other side. And yeah, that's all I have. So good job, everybody. And Wyatt, thank you for literally always helping me. Well, I forgot on Monday, but Wyatt, seriously, I think we make a great team, and yeah.
Cool.
It was,
Good.
yeah, went well.
All right.
I had fun.
All right, well, why don't we hear from Wyatt just because you brought him into this conversation. And then we'll hear from Donovan.
Here, use one.
I'm just going to hold it. I'm not going to clip it. Notes. Those will help.
So you are our associate producer.
Yes, correct. So yeah, just kind of to bounce off what Maddie said, I thought all three of the live shots that were all in A block, they all looked really good, and you guys were able to like get out the door, and in Sydney's case, walk over there, but they all looked really good. What?
Okay, Donovan, you were our digital producer. Oh, we didn't hear you? Did we not hear your mic? All right, Donovan.
I had a few more notes.
Oh, you have more?
Yeah.
Okay, go on. Donovan, sit down. It's a good look. Go on.
Yeah, great stuff. And so I just thought there were a lot of really good, like colorful, well-framed shots in a bunch of the packages today. I know Majesty's with the buses, I really liked. There are a few shots at Tate, either on the bus or off the bus, where they just looked really good, and I thought you did a really good job with that. I liked in Luke's package, like at the beginning, and then at some other point where you just had like the full golf swing and the tee, like just on a drive. Those were nice. And then Vera's with some of the different kind of like cookie making shots, like those were all really good that I made notes of. And then, yeah, that's all I have now. So good job, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Wyatt. Donovan Harris is our digital producer.
Good job today with digital analytics. I wanted to do something a little different and kind of show you all kind of how we trended throughout the day at this point from the morning. So we can look at our leaderboard and see that Miss Sydney Heiberger is in the lead on our leaderboard. On Twitter, in terms of Twitter and tweeting and whatnot.
What did I tweet? I don't even know how to tweet.
I don't know. Apparently 14 likes and 7 retweets. I don't know what exactly what it is that you tweeted out, but you're leading our leaderboard. So I want to pit you all against each other. And I want you all to tweet more. But we're doing a good job at least doing the little that we can. One suggestion that I came in with, and I'll keep this in mind even as I'm MMJing, as you're doing your package, don't think of those elements as afterthoughts, but when you're cutting your SOTs and cutting your stand-ups, open up a new timeline within your project, and literally you can copy and paste your SOTs. And then export those and then put them up in your social news desk and then tweet them out, and then we can retweet you from social news desk. So that's part of the workflow. It's not a separate thing. If you just copy and paste SOTs and copy and paste, different things of that nature into separate timelines. Twitter was we did a lot of tweets. Christina did a great job today with Twitter. It looks like our top performing tweet today was Danny's story. And what we see here is his 9 engagements. That meant that 9 people, and we would treat that as 9 different people, actually clicked that link. And so one thing that Dr. Bright and I saw was that we see a lot more organic searches. So people actually Googling stories and going to our page. So that means that we actually need to tell news via social media more than teasing out stories. And then also Majesty's tease with the 20 electric buses. And then also on Facebook, we did a good job, the Grady Daily, but the breaking news. So we did a first thing today where we kind of did a breaking news Grady Daily off of, where's Brittany? Brittany's story. And so that did pretty well as well. So again, good job today with digital. There's some things going out tonight. I did a social story about the Brady Bunch thing. I went around and asked people what shows would they like to see rebooted. And I did a social video. And so go on Twitter and Facebook at 7. I scheduled it for 7, and then comment and share that. And then also there's a couple of other social stories that we're going to put out. There's an exercise video that Christina's going to put out. The couple of things on Twitter. Sibling Day is going out on Twitter. It's going out now. Also, I'm going to put out a story about the Facebook memorial changes to the dead people. You know what I'm talking about, the one I pitched this morning. So that's going to go out. So we're doing a lot of good things on social media. So that's all for me.
Okay, great. Excellent. Christina, did you want to add anything?
No, Donovan pretty much got it all. You
did-
guys, if you're watching out there, if you're any siblings, I'm sorry, I don't know where to look. If you have any siblings and you're a sibling of somebody who's on the show, get ready to see your picture out on Facebook and Instagram. That would be cute.
Okay, great. That was a good idea. Thank you, Christina. Listen, I thought you guys just killed it. I thought it was just a great job today. I was just really so proud of you. I mean, everybody was firing on all cylinders, I thought, and I just, watching that first block, if you get a chance to go back and watch it, it was really crisp and clean and had good energy from the anchors through the reporters down to weather, huh? Yeah, we did. It was really excellent, and the technical, part of it was clean and great. What I felt, I just thought, the audio was really good. We heard everybody nicely and clearly and crisply. Yeah, crisply. Anyway, but really, I think it started with the pre-tees, getting those 3 live players, Danny, Brittany, Sydney, into the pre-tees with stand-up tees. I thought had a lot of good energy. You guys had good energy. The only little small criticism I have is on yours, Danny. You were kind of like a little floating head, and you're shooting your own, so it's hard. Everybody else was sort of framed from here up, and you were framed from about here up, I guess, as it turned out. So the banner was here, and your head was sort of on the banner. So we just needed it a little wider. If you're doing a stand-up tease, not too wide, but wide enough that the banner isn't going to cover your whole, body. But I thought, regardless, all the pre-show stand-up teases were good. Brittany, yours was really good, great energy again. The armed robbery, Brittany, I thought your live was excellent. I thought the package was really excellent. I thought your remote tag was excellent. I mean, just good all around. I thought your pre-pro was fantastic. I know you were pushing yourself today because you weren't crazy about the phonographic and the pre-pro on Monday. And today, I just think the way you handled the suspects, the way you handled the Hall County, that detention center in Hall County for the juveniles looked really good with the overlay of the map in the center. That was really nice. You didn't have a ton of stuff to work with. Wyatt, I wanted to thank you. Wyatt went out with Brittany because we were concerned about that neighborhood, whether it was safe or not. And so, I don't want to put anybody in danger, obviously. And so they just really drove by and shot. One of them shot because the other drove, so we were shooting legally just to cover us. But, when you go into your jobs, those of you who are going to be reporters, that want to be reporters, it's just, to me, it's safety first, right? You want to be careful. You're going to get sent potentially into dangerous places, neighborhoods. You want to make sure they're, active crime scenes. Hopefully police are there. You don't want to be out there by yourself as a one-man band or an MMJ. Stick up for yourself is what I would say, and for your safety. So today I was a little concerned, but I think we got the word across that we just didn't want to take any unnecessary risks with that story. So we got a little bit of video, and that helped, right? And we used a little bit of video setup in the lead-in, which I thought looked good, and did a few things like that, like coming back in the B block with the lizard stuff. I think we tried some new things. I love the double boxes, the cold cuts. I think they look really good. The ACC incident reports that Danny did, great live, good package. It was well shot. You had really great energy at that kiosk, when you showed us about filing the reports. It just looked really, really good, like you had a shooter working with you. I thought you did just an excellent job. Well, maybe I was looking at the kiosk.
That bugged me.
You can grab the mic if you want. Anyway, I thought you looked, I don't know, I thought it looked pretty good. Maybe I was looking at the kiosk. Did I say good? I meant terrible. It was terrible. Anyway, the EMS shortage, Sydney, I know you were sort of a little bit behind, working today, but it really was a really good package. You had great energy. Again, in your stand-up really had really good energy. The only thing I would say about yours is some of that video felt like it needed a tripod. It was a little bit seasick,
Yeah, I was seasick too.
Yeah.
I couldn't get the tripod into the ambulance. So, because there was like a big gurney in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So.
Imagine the nerve.
I mean,
yeah.
it was really inconvenient for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I should have like rested my elbow on something, because rather than just kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the end of the world, but I just noticed it in a few shots. So, but kudos, you got a variety of shots to cut with, right? And it, the lighting on it seemed pretty good, and so it was well done. And I thought, I thought all these stories, I thought Brittany's, Danny's, Sydney, yours were all stories worth telling, today. And it felt like we had a real solid news day, right? And a solid newscast. So I was just so pleased. And then, out of that, we hit, Veronica on the golf course. She was doing something, as y'all noted, a little different, right? And Veronica, as I told her, she looked awesome. Christina, you shot it, and you used a reflector. Yes. So talk about that for a second, because she just looked as good as she looked on Monday with Jim lighting her.
Okay. So, yeah, so we used the reflector. I already noted the time that we were going out, the sun was going to be pretty high up. So I knew we were going to have some pretty bad shadows, especially like with the golf course, there's no trees or anything. Well, there's trees, but not where I was shooting. So I had Christina come with me to use the reflector. And even then it was still, it made it like 10 times better. So it is helpful when you can have someone there to help you. Yeah. And you're not just so thank you, Christina. But really, I don't know if she has anything to add on how she did that, to know how to reflect, because I just let her do it.
So I was really worried because it is midday, so it's like one of the worst times. But because it was like 1 o'clock, the sun was slightly more on the side, where if she had the golf course in the background, she was going to be in the dark. So the best thing that we decided to do, we were like, well, do we just kill having the golf course in the background? But that was the whole point of being there. And, you can't just like walk around the golf course and like, do whatever you want to do while people are playing and practicing. So that wasn't an option, just to find another place to do it. So I just pulled out the reflector and then just did the best that I could to like make sure the camera was rolling and running and she was focused first, and then get the shot in and try to hold the reflector still. And I feel like it worked out. And
oh yeah, we definitely shot it multiple times.
Yeah, but it was, I think it turned out okay. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. I think it, yep, so she was a little golden glow. Thanks to the reflector.
Jim did an amazing job on Monday, so I wanted to kind of make sure that it didn't go from good to terrible, so we just made sure to, yeah. I wanted to. I used to play golf in high school, so I was really tempted to just kind of go on the 18th hole and just get a quick putt in, but
okay. Well, it looked great. So I thought the B block tees, Sarah was really good. On the lizards, and I thought your whole package, we came back to that video off top. For those of you who are going to be producers, just another little something you can do, come back to video off the top and then come back to a 2-shot, talk about the story if you have something compelling, to show. I thought the lizards were a really good video. I thought your stand-up was excellent. You looked terrified of the, well, you didn't really look terrified.
Well, they wouldn't let me, I had to like hold the stick away because one, it would like jump everywhere and like run away, and then I also wasn't allowed to touch it.
Yeah.
So.
Did that happen at all?
What? Did
it jump off the stick? And
no, it didn't jump off the stick, but it jumped out of the box earlier. It was like running up the cabinets, and she was having to like bat it. And I was like, this is more than I bargained for. But yeah.
Well, I thought that was a good story, and it took us 2 days ultimately to get it done because we couldn't get it on Monday. But I thought that was really, yeah. It had a lot going for it. The only problem I had with Sarah, and I told her, is she misused a semicolon. When have you ever seen a semicolon on a person's name on their font? Only Sarah Hammond would insert a semicolon. Huh?
I said I'm the first to do it.
The first to attempt it and fail because it was a misuse of the semicolon. Anyway, on what did you have?
What are you supposed to, just like a
UGA
slash
researcher,
or like
well,
a
slash or a line and
do that,
professor and up
okay.
and down line. Yeah, anyway.
Just didn't even think about it.
Okay. Let's not let that ever happen again.
Okay.
I thought I could kudos, glad we put in the black hole story. I thought that was really an interesting story, and we all got a little bit of an education from researching. You know, we felt like we needed to explain what a black hole was, but not in too much detail. So that was a bit of a struggle, but I was glad we had that story in, and then we made the transition to buses, that impossible segue that, you know, from this universe to this university or something like that, from the universe to the university, something like that. Majesty, I thought you did a great package today. I thought it was well shot. I thought the audio was really good. I thought your stand-up was really good. People said in the control room, someone commented when the buses pulled, there was that colorful street part or something, and
tape.
Yeah. Anyway, it looked really good. I thought, and I didn't hear the hiss in the interview that you told me.
Oh, you did it. Oh, well. Then
I mean, maybe I.
Praise God.
But I always watch twice, so I might pick it up. But anyway, yeah. But I thought that was really a good story, and I really thought that was maybe your best piece of the semester. It just all came together nicely, every aspect of it. So good job. And I thought, you know, you anchored really well, you know, along with Vera. So, you know, on the lead and everything else. So, okay. Now we go to sports. So I thought your tease was really good, Luke.
So disappointed. Now we go to sports.
Well, I wasn't disappointed. I mean, Luke was standing in the corner of the control room. I was watching him while I was watching the newscast, and he's just praying that sports would arrive already, and he could see himself. But anyway, so there we got to the tease, you know, and you did a nice tease with some sound, which was good. I thought all your readers, you know, that you did were really well executed, and I thought the package was really good. You know, Luke's a great communicator on air and off the air, I would say, because he'll reach out to me night before. Can I shoot sports early? Because I want to pick up extra B-roll, right? Can I do this? Could I do that? What do you think about? You know, I think that's part of your success is you're thinking out ahead of time, you know, these different elements. And so I thought it was really well shot. I thought your stand-up was really good. There was a little background noise.
Yeah, there was. So it was like inside the golf facility, and there's like a kitchen area, like right in front of where that trophy room was. And I don't know if it was like the fridge or something was making a noise. I didn't realize it was gonna be that loud. Like when I went back and watched it. Also, you might not have noticed, but my hair was like all windblown from the golf cart, so I was a little disappointed in that. But I'm just kidding.
We thought you were going for that effect.
But no, there was some background noise.
Yeah, there was a little. But I like the way you picked up the trophy and as though it were your own and you were going to abscond with it. You know, I thought it was good. But your video was good. You know, it was really well done. Okay, so weather. I thought, there you are. Good job. All around. So we talked about, you know, experimenting and trying some different things, and this was your idea.
Yeah, so I came to you this morning trying to do something kind of new. I don't know if it made sense at first, but you finally understood me and we talked it through.
Well, it wasn't a lack on my part.
Oh, okay. I guess I wasn't doing well at explaining. I'll take a class on it next semester.
Yeah.
I'm graduating, yeah, so we're not going to do that.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If he lets me pass the class. But yeah, so I just wanted to try something new. There were challenges because not having them count me down and say, you know, like, you've made it to a minute, you've made it to 2 minutes, you've made it to 3 minutes.
me and Christina were like, yeah, I think that's about right. And then we'd like kind of redo it and like just trying to like gauge the time.
Yeah.
But like my 1 minute came out to 55, which was longer
That's
than
good.
my first one. So like
Yeah.
it worked out, but there
Yeah.
definitely were challenges. So if anyone wants to try something like that, just let
Well,
me know.
even when we've done weather in-house, the times have not been exact.
Always perfect.
So,
Yeah. So
but
that was the only thing.
I thought it was really good, and
Thanks.
I think that you had to make all your graphics ahead of time.
I
right?
did. I did it as if I was gonna record at 1 instead of 12, but after I did that, then I just went straight to the golf course.
And
so
she never recorded because she realized her audio would be different.
Yeah.
On the golf course versus in, you
and it would
really
also be weird if I was standing in the shot, so I made sure to just like talk about it all on the golf course.
Right. Well, anyway, that was great. So I hope next week we'll push in other ways. Did anyone else do anything they felt was particularly creative today?
No, this isn't a comment about that, but I think we should all take the opportunity to go follow us on our social platforms at Grady Newsource on Instagram, at Grady Newsource on Twitter, and at Grady Newsource if you're watching this right now on Facebook. Thank you.
Excellent. I agree. Yeah.
Talking about captioned video, I think today was the first day we actually captioned the Grady daily, and we figured out a way to do that. So continuously figuring out ways to caption video. That's kind of where people are watching, so to speak. So I know it's hard to try to juggle a package and caption video, but let's try it.
And we also did try something new with Sydney today in digital, which I forgot to. She just reminded me. She sent back a bunch of videos. I literally put this all on her this morning. I walked in and I was like, hey, I want you to do this thing, like day in the life video. So that'll be, you guys can expect to see that soon. It's just essentially like a look at what a reporter's life is like as every single day, like when they come in here to the newsroom, from the morning meeting to setting up the interviews and getting through your day, making it back in time to edit your package, and then watching it on the big screen. So or going live right before she went live, she has her final thing. So we'll have her close that out at the end of today, and then we'll be able to push that out, and you guys will see what it's like.
That's a great idea. Was that your idea?
Yes.
Love it. Good. Excellent.
But also the reason I asked Christina to bring it up too is because I think that for social in the future we can do it with like a bunch of newsroom positions. So like today we did a reporter, we can do like a producer, we can do assignment, like we can do it for every position. I think it'd be sports. Like I think it'd be cool for our viewers to see like what we do the whole day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the one cautionary note I have is I'm glad you didn't do it with Brittany, because her story involved, legal issues and, sensitive legal issues. And so I don't want to really look closely check something like that out. Whereas yours was, not that kind of story.
And it was also less about the story and more about like the process of news gathering.
Great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point.
Yeah.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Majesty? Yeah, all right. Okay. I didn't get to watch Vera's cookie girl, the student who makes the cookies, because we were having a timing problem. Was it good? Okay. So I read it, and she had a lot to work with, but I'll watch it, as I always watch the show afterwards to see, how it worked out. I think that was her profile story, I believe. So how are we doing on are we making progress? Yes? Are you doing the martial arts? No?
No, yeah. So I had like one meeting with her, and then the next one she had like a family emergency, so she like left out of town. But I did my backup one yesterday.
Okay.
So
will we have
ready.
that next week?
Yeah, whenever we want to
maybe
use
Monday?
it. Yeah.
Okay,
Have
that's
it all shot
great.
out.
All right. So will you put that in the group me? Okay. Who else?
I'm going. I'm going to shoot part of mine tomorrow. He told me not to come Monday because of the severe weather. He was having to talk a lot with Athens, Clark County and all this stuff. So he just told me it was best not to come. So I'm going to shoot mine tomorrow, and then I'm going to shoot the rest of it Monday when they have a training session.
Okay. So
I also think I have a piece for Danny to do too.
So okay, good. Oh, Danny doesn't have room. Oh, Oh, I think we're wrapping up, but we'll continue our conversation.
We have about 20.
Okay, so
Yes,
you want
say
these
some
pieces
things.
to be textured pieces, that really feel like we're getting to know these people. That sound, wherever you can do it, you can use it. By the way, that was a great aspect of your story today, Sydney.
And we're
was the Nat sound on the fire
wrapping
station.
up. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you later.